Vasudevasya Devakyam
Vasudevasya Devakyam
Bhojedram Bantanya
Jato Bhajendra Bandhana
Chikriso Bhagavanasya
Chikirso Bhagavanasya
Sam Ajina Vyachita
Samajena Vyachita
Vasudevasya Devakyam
Vasudevasya Devakyam
Jato Bhajendra Bandhani
Jato Bhajendra Bandhana
Chikeso Bhagavan Asya
Chikirso Bhagavanasya
Sam Ajena Vyachita
Samajena Vyachita Okay, Vasudevasya Vasudevasya of the wife of Vasudev. Of the wife of Vasudev. Devakyam. Devakyam. In the womb of Devaki.
In the womb of Devaki.
Jata.
Jata.
Born of.
Born of.
Bhoja Indra.
Bhoja
Indra. Of the king of the Bhojas.
Of the king of the Bhojas.
Bandhane.
Bandhane.
In the prison house.
In the prison house.
Kirshu.
Keshu.
For doing.
For doing.
Bhagavan.
Bhagavan.
Personality of Godhead.
Personality of Godhead.
Ashya. Ashya. Of the earth.
Of the
Sham.
Sham.
Welfare.
Welfare.
Ajena.
Ajena.
By Lord Brahma.
By Lord Brahma.
Abhyachita.
Abhyachita.
Being prayed for.
Being prayed for.
The personality of Godhead, being prayed for by Brahma to bring welfare to the earth, was begotten by Vasudeva in the womb of his wife Devaki in the prison of the king of Bhoja. Although there's no difference between the Lord's pastimes of appearance and disappearance, the devotees of the Lord do not generally discuss the subject of his disappearance. Vidura inquired indirectly from Uddhava about the incident of the Lord's disappearance by asking him to relate Krishna Katha, or topics on the history of Lord Krishna. Thus, Uddhava began the topics from the very beginning of his appearance as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki in the prison of Kamsa, the king of the Bhojas. At Mathura, the Lord has no business in this world, but when he is so requested by devotees like Brahma, he descends to the earth for the welfare of the entire universe. Thus is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya juduskritam dharma samustapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Om Agana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rup Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sajujatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sadvaitam Savadutam Padijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gora Tuishe Namaha. Okay, so there's no difference. When the Lord disappears, he appears somewhere else. So it's not different. But generally, we don't talk about the disappearance of the Lord. The devotees don't like to think about that. So when they met, Vidura is asking indirectly, because he suspects the Lord has disappeared. He doesn't want to ask about it, just like we were reading much time back in the first canto when Arjuna came back from Dwarka and he was depressed, and Yudhishthira suspected very strongly that Krishna had left, but he didn't want to ask about it because he didn't want to hear about it. And Arjuna didn't want to tell him because a nice person doesn't like to give bad news. Nowadays, many people like to give bad news. They like to tell you about the trouble. They like to tell you when something's gone wrong. But of course, when a devotee leaves, it's not bad news exactly. We miss that devotee. But we know he's gone to a better place. Like I just got news, my godbrother Haridas, I don't know if you know him in Bombay. He came to Nigeria a few times to teach Kung Fu or something. Anybody remember? It was a long time ago. Anybody?
No, Maharaja, I don't. I don't know if Salika Prabhu is still here. He might know him. Madhuvan Prabhu, do you remember him?
A long time ago. So, but just interesting to hear about, we like to, when someone leaves their body, talk about him. Haridas was a thief, a low-class thief, and he was in jail in Bombay. And he saw, and maybe when he got out, he saw a picture of Srila Prabhupada. And he saw Prabhupada had a big gold watch. So he thought, that'll be my next job. I'll steal that watch. So he walked all the way from South Bombay all the way to Juhu. And he met devotees and he started being in the temple. He's Bengali. So Prabhupada liked him very much and they would speak Bengali. And Haridas was a little crippled. One arm was not quite right. The hand didn't work. And one leg. And one day when he was talking to Prabhupada, found he was buying chocolate or something and with temple money and kind of like different exchanges. So one day he told Prabhupada, I really came here to steal your watch. And Prabhupada said, you don't have to steal it. I would give it to you if you ask for it. So he became a very good devotee, got initiated, and got the name Haridas. And he was a life member preacher when I first went to Bombay. 70. Later it was 78. So he'd been there a long time. He made almost everybody in Bollywood, everyone there a life member. He became very well known amongst all the movie people. But he got contaminated by their association and fell into their habits. But he also became a movie star. He was always the bad guy, because he had that bad arm, and that arm, and everybody knew something evil was going to happen. And then he got out from that, and he came back. So he started ITV, ISKCON TV, India, and he did because he learned all about movie technology in Bollywood, and he ended up doing many things. He was part of that movie they made about Haridas Thakur, but he got like connected. I don't know if it was on internet. He even got connected with some internet TV channels, so that anywhere in the world people could get darshan in Bombay Temple. He filmed devotees with a long series of classes. He did many things. He was very busy. He had his office in Bombay, and I was pretty friendly with him, because when I first went there, Bombay Temple was very few devotees. So he ended up having a big company with a lot of employees and all kinds of equipment, and would film all the special events and first class things, so that millions of people were, witnessing temple activities and darshans. And he said, he has to pay back Prabhupada. That was his consciousness. Okay, he was always at Mangalarti, always greeting the deity, until the last few years. Last time I was in Bombay, he had a sign on his door, and he could only meet him like maybe 1 hour a day. He was so sick. For many years, he was always going off to the Ayurvedic clinic, but he never rested. He was very productive. And with that mentality, he had so much love for Srila Prabhupada. They wanted to pay him back for everything Prabhupada gave him, because he was rescued, from not a very good situation, being in the jail, some kind of thief, small-time thief. I think his mother even became a devotee in Mayapur and was a cook for the Radha for a long time. So we can pray. He left his body yesterday afternoon, or maybe today, in India, 5 o'clock India time. I guess it was today. So kind of been expecting it for a long time, but he was very dedicated, very sweet devotee. So we can try to get some inspiration and think how we can pay back our spiritual master, because the only way we can pay back is try to serve the mission, try to spread his teachings, try to spread the mission, and he'll accept that as full payment. Although nobody thinks, I've paid back. The more we try to pay back, the more we get indebted, because we get more and more mercy. The more we try to give, the more we get. Like it says, the gopis would get 10 times or 10,000 times or whatever, more happiness, by serving Krishna than Krishna would get. They try to give him, and he gives back so much more. So this Vidura, we know he's a great soul. Who knows who is Vidura? And normally, Vidura was just a temporary incarnation. Who knows?
Yamaraj.
Yamaraj, yeah. So apparently he was cursed. There was one sage, and he got in trouble. Some thieves were hiding in his house, and when the police caught the thieves, they arrested him also. And they were going to not crucify these. You might have seen in some movies, they have a sharpened stake and they lower someone down on that stake and it pierces them through the backside. They leave them hanging there. And then I don't know if it went through, but anyway, he was mad at Yamaraj, and Yamaraj said, well, when you were a child, you pierced an insect with a straw in that same way. So that's the karma. And he was very angry, and he said, that you can't punish a child like that. So from then on, children are not punished in the same way. So it was cursed to become a Sudra, but actually it was a blessing because Yamaraj is so busy, he never gets a break. The same people are always coming back and again, and they go to hell and they get, and they go and do the sins again. So this was like a holiday for Yamaraj, where he could just be a devotee. Simple, because he didn't even have to be the king. He was an advisor to the king, but he couldn't be the king because his birth was so-called illegitimate. He was, his father was Vasudev, actually, but the mother was supposed to be one of the princesses, but Vasudev had just come from some kind of very intense tapasya, and really wretched looking, and long hair, matted hair and beard, and the woman was afraid. So she pushed the maidservant, and the maidservant was treated Vasudev very humbly and served, and so she got pregnant. So Vidura was a great saint in the family, and he always tried to give good advice to his brother Dhritarashtra, but Dhritarashtra would never take it. He was always thinking of my child, my son, and he would, even though he knew he was wrong, he would try to do what the son wanted, which was always very nasty. So Vidura always supported the Pandavas. And then Dhritarashtra, or Duryodhana, was so angry, he called him, sense personified. He chastised, Dhritarashtra for keeping him. And Vidura just put down everything and left. So he had been just traveling around the world for many years and didn't know what was going on in Dwarka or anywhere. But then he met Uddhava, who was Krishna's most intimate friend in Dwarka, and his topmost minister and advisor. So he's inquiring from him, but he doesn't want to ask if Krishna left. So he asked him, let's talk about Krishna. So there's even though this is the third canto, there's a lot of Krishna Lila, very, very nice, intimate Krishna Lila here. You don't have to wait for the 10th canto. So we know, Vasudeva and Devaki, they were the Prishni Garba and Uttapa, that they had previously incarnated at different times and had incarnations as their sons, and then they wanted Krishna. So this time they got Krishna. But they only got Krishna for a very short time. First he appeared as Vishnu. So it wasn't a birth, obviously, because he's a full-size person. It was an appearance. Then Mother Devaki got worried and wanted to become a small baby. She thought she could hide him somewhere and Kamsa wouldn't kill him. Her motherly instincts took over and she couldn't realize this is the Supreme Lord. Nobody could kill him. But then he ordered them take me to Gokula. So they did that. So even though they had done all this tapasya, 12,000 years of eating only leaves that fell off the trees and things to get Krishna as their son, they only got him for a few minutes. Later, they were able to live in Dwarka with Krishna and Mathura after Krishna killed Kamsa. So we can't understand, these are not pregnancies like we have and cats and dogs have with that kind of physical contact and everything. It's Krishna came into the mind of Vasudeva to the heart, transferred to the heart of Devaki. But sometimes we say the womb, but it's not the same physical womb like because she certainly didn't have the full-size Vishnu in her womb, inside her body. So Krishna has no business to come to this world. It's not a nice place for him. There's a lot of nice things. There's a lot of beautiful mountains and forests and flowers and even nice people. But compared to the Krishna's abode in Goloka, it's a terrible place. Even Prabhupada, comparing it to Calcutta at the time he came to America, was saying America's a terrible place. So what to speak of Krishna. But he was requested by Brahma. I think you know why, because Mother Bhumi, Mother Earth, she was so distressed by all the demons on the earth. Very painful for her that demons are stomping around and making wars and, making trouble for everybody. So she went to Lord Brahma, and then Lord Brahma went to Vishnu. Maybe she did also. And then he said, okay, I'll appear. And then he made all the arrangements to send Vasudeva and Devaki and many people ahead of him. And then many people at the same time, all his associates from Vrindavan. But he had all the demigods appear also in the different dynasties, the Yadu dynasty especially. And then he appeared. So we're very fortunate now we can hear this. Bhagavad Gita 4:8 is one we just had Janmashtami recently, right? So this is the Janmashtami verse. Purjanaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskitam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreant, as well as to establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. So millennium is a long time. Krishna, in this Krishna original form, Gokul, Gopal Krishna, he only appears once in every day of Brahma. That's a long time. And Lord Chaitanya, as we know Lord Chaitanya, only appears once also. There's so many incarnations. There's also Lord Chaitanya's in other ages, but they're not the same as our Lord Chaitanya with the Sankirtan movement and liberating everybody, freely distributing Krishna prema. That's only this time. So we're somehow especially blessed. We still know where Krishna appeared. We can visit. We can, see the places of his pastimes. There's thousands of temples of Krishna all over the world because of Lord Chaitanya, and the holy name is being chanted. And the holy name is Krishna fought in Vrindavan. He never used a weapon. He just with his hands or mystic power, different ways, he killed all these demons. Later, as a prince and a king, he used weapons better than everyone else. Bow, mostly the bow and the chakra. But he used club. He used many weapons. Krishna himself, because all the incarnations appear in the body of Krishna. So they do all the same things. But Lord Chaitanya, he didn't kill the demons, literally. Prabhupada said if he did, he'd have to kill everybody, Kali Yuga. But his weapon was his associates and the holy name. And by the holy name, he was changing the mentality, and now he's left that up to us to continue to spread the chanting of the holy name, to spread the Sankirtan movement. We request everybody read Chaitanya Charitamrita. You'll definitely understand, the mission, because it's stressed so much throughout the Chaitanya Charitamrita, throughout the slokas, throughout the purports, throughout Prabhupada's, there's so many beautiful verses. Stay so samada paya Krishnara charana Sankirtana yagye Sankirtana yagye kalo Krishna aradhana Seito samada paya Krishnara charana. Everybody can understand what that means? Simple. It means in this age of Kali, the process of worshiping Krishna is to perform sacrifice by chanting the holy name of the Lord. One who does so certainly is very intelligent, and he attains shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. Then Sankirtana, Haite Papa, Samsara Nashana, Chitta Shuddhi, Sarva Bhakti, Sarana Udgama, Sankirtana Haila. By performing the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, one can destroy the sinful condition of materialistic life, resulting, purify the unclean heart, and awaken all varieties of devotional service. Anybody like to do that? Would you like to purify your unclean heart? Or do you think it's already pure? We can scrub the body and make it clean for a little while, but the body itself is dirty. It's always exuding something. But the heart is more dirty, and we can't clean it with water. We can't clean it with soap. But we can clean it by the holy name, by chanting the holy name, and by just rendering service to the devotees. By regular attendance in the classes of Srimad Bhagavatam, or rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is inauspicious in the heart becomes destroyed almost to nil. And thus, loving service becomes an irrevocable fact. So that's very simple. Just chant the holy name. Serve the mission. Serve the pure devotees. And Prabhupada sometimes said everyone in the movement is a pure devotee. But if we serve any devotee in the movement that is trying to serve Prabhupada's mission, that's the same as serving Prabhupada. That's how Prabhupada can accept service. That's how your guru can accept service. So, and we serve the people, because the devotee sees that everyone's actually a devotee, but they've forgotten. So, Sarva Shakti Name Dila Koriya Vibhaga Amara Durdaiva Name Nahi Anuraga. You have invested your full potencies in each individual holy name, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attachment for chanting your holy names. So we know that Nam Namakari Bahuda Nityasarva Shakti Trapita Niyamata Smarnena Kalaha Itadasi Tavakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Idrisham Hiajaninana Raja. It's one of the second Shishastic. So this verse I just read is Lord Chaitanya commenting on his own verses. He was reciting these verses and then commenting on them. So he's just saying the same thing. The full potencies in each of the holy names. But he's crying, I don't have a taste. But if we're fortunate, we can be around devotees who have some taste and they're always chanting, and it'll inspire us to chant. So I don't know. Want to hear another one from the Chaitanya Charitamrita? Chanting the holy name is the chief means of getting love of Godhead. This chanting or devotional service does not depend on any paraphernalia, nor anyone having taken birth in a good family. By humility and meekness, one attracts the attention of Krishna. That is the verdict of all the Vedas. Therefore, if one becomes very humble and meek, he can easily attain the lotus feet of Krishna in this age of Kali. That is the fulfillment of all great sacrifices, penances, and austerities, because when one achieves ecstatic love of Godhead, he attains a complete perfection of life. Therefore, whatever one does in executing devotional service must be accompanied by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So any yajna we do, any whatever we're doing, if we're sweeping the floor, we should be chanting. If we're washing the car, we're driving, we should be chanting. Not just, doing that thing, but chanting the holy name, no matter what we're doing. For some kinds of jobs, of course, we have to fully concentrate and chant, but most things we're doing, we could be chanting. When I first was associating with devotees were always chanting, they were cleaning the baths or whatever they were doing. They were always chanting. Now we don't see that as much, concentrating on a broom or something, but we can do everything better by chanting at the same time. It's the chief means of getting. Our whole movement is the holy name. Harinama, 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 Kevalam, Kaluna, Steva, 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 Gatir Anyata. There's no other way, only by chanting the holy name. O Mukunda, please let me become a constant reciter of your names, addressing you as Shri Ballava, Varada. Varada means the bestower of benedictions. Dayapara, one who is causelessly merciful. Bhakta Priya, one who is very dear to the devotees. Bhava Lutana Kovida, who is expert in plundering the status quo of repeated birth and death. Nata, the Supreme Lord. Jaganivas, the resort of the cosmos. And Naga Shayana, the Lord who dies down on a serpent bed. All right, so let's hear some comments.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. So beautiful. Dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, realizations, you may want to ask or share, please indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand. You'll be asked to unmute to speak or share. Maharaj, I have one question. We're talking about, of course, like you explained, Lord Krishna, even though we say was born, but it's not typical birth because he was not in the womb of anybody. But my question is, it seems to me that both Vasudeva and Devaki were particularly concerned about Krishna much more than the previous children, because I have not come across where Vasudeva and Devaki attempted to hide their child from Kamsa. But they did so with the appearance of Lord Krishna, hiding him from Kamsa. Why did they do that to Krishna and not the other previous children?
I don't know. I don't know. See, the other children appeared as babies in the first place. When Krishna appeared, he appeared immediately as Narayan, full everything with the four conch shell and the weapons and everything full dressed and Narayan. So then she got worried that this is so conspicuous, and so she said, please, become small baby so we can hide you. So we don't know if she tried to hide the other ones or not. I don't know. I never heard anything. She always tried to stop Kamsa and beg him, but somehow with Krishna she got bewildered, and she thought she could hide him, even though there was no place to hide. They were in a cell and
Well, thank you so much, Maharaj. Yeah, I mean, there is a difference because all the previous children appeared as children, whereas Lord Krishna appeared as Narayan. So
yeah, they appeared as little babies.
yeah.
And then the baby cried right away, and then Kamsa came. She didn't have time, and she couldn't talk to the baby. But Krishna, nobody knew when he appeared until nobody knew everybody was asleep. In all of Mathura, nobody was awake except them.
Is it Salika Prabhu, please? You may unmute.
No, it's Kusha.
Kusha.
My question is on the purport, the beginning of the purport. Prabhupada mentioned that the disappearance and appearance of Krishna, that the devotees of the Lord do not generally discuss the subject of his disappearance. So my question is, but the devotees discuss the disappearance of the spiritual master. Why are they not generally discussing the disappearance of Krishna? You see, although there is no difference between the Lord's pastime and disappearance, the devotees of the Lord do not generally discuss the subject matter of his disappearance. So why do we not discuss it as we discussed of the spiritual master?
We don't really discuss the disappearance over and over and over again. We honor that day, and then we remember the activities of the spiritual master. Because the disappearance is very auspicious, because it proves that he was actually, his whole life was properly utilized for Krishna. But it's not like we just sit and discuss over and over again. Like Bhakti Tirthamraj, he couldn't watch that movie of Prabhupada's disappearance. Couldn't stand it to think about it. We don't watch that over and over again. Maybe in a whole big movie about Prabhupada, that's just a little flash, but we can talk about Prabhupada's activities or his spiritual master's life unlimitedly. The Christians dwell on Jesus's disappearance more than his life, which is unfortunate. Right?
Yes, Gurudev.
Very unfortunate. But we do. I remember some Christians I met in India one time. They were students that's traveling around to do their preaching, and do you believe Jesus died for your sins? I said, well, I think he lived, to show us how to live and to help us. Do you believe he died for your sins? That's all they could talk about. Didn't want to hear anything about his life or, but. All right. Anyone else?
Yes. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Madhava Prabhu, please you may unmute.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Hare Bipale. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah. If I heard you properly, Maharaj, you mentioned that Lord Krishna appears on this planet only once in a day of Lord Brahma. I think
that's
yeah. I think that's a very rare occasion, because one day of Lord Brahma, that should be once in so many millions of years.
Yeah.
And this time around, we are so fortunate. Just about 5,000 years ago, it appears. So how fortunate are we to have such an opportunity, a very rare opportunity? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right? It's inconceivable. Inconceivable mercy.
Krishna Prabhu.
I have a follow-up question. Astari, please put the first, please. The one before this one, 24. Gumaraj, this text on this translation, I have issue with this 24th verse. I consider the demons who are inimical toward the Lord to be more than the devotees. So sometime I was arguing with somebody, I said, I was trying to speculate. I said, could this be the reason why sometimes devotees are inimical towards each other? Because they think they can attract Krishna's attention. I don't know how to understand this.
Because what?
This verse of 24th, where Krishna said he considered the demons to be, who are inimical towards the Lord, to be more than the devotees. Because while fighting with the Lord, they absorb their thoughts and thought of enmity, whatever. So I was thinking, could this be the reason why some devotees sometimes are so inimical towards each other, trying to provoke Krishna's attention?
I don't know. That's kind of crazy speculation. You know, it's very hard to say. It's not every demon either, but some of these really big demons, they're actually devotees, and somehow they become demons. And it's, you know, for Krishna's pleasure. So they get so much, but they're not better than devotees, but they're thinking of Krishna more than devotees, maybe.
Well, Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Actually, Krishna Prabhu, this is actually spoken by Uddhava. And in the purport, Sri Prabhupada explains, just like Maharaj just explained, that actually the demons are no better than the devotees, but it is out of ecstatic love of missing the Lord. Uddhava was speaking like that. So it says, but Uddhava, actually, Prabhupada states in the paper, actually the demons can never be equal to the pure devotees. But Uddhava was thinking in that way because of his feelings of separation. So, just like Maharaj explained.
One hand is up.
Yeah, Thakur Murari Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances as goes to Srila Prabhupada and the assembly devotees. Thank you very much for your presentation. As usual, we welcome the presentation by Srila Prabhupada. I'm sure you're a first generation disciple, Maharaj?
Yeah.
Yes, so we are welcome. We owe one who said debt of gratitude for your your service to Srila Prabhupada and the mission. So we thank you wholeheartedly for your presentation. And also, thank you for reminding us about them. So although we, in terms of this disappearance as spiritual master, we don't, I thought about it too, we don't dwell on it like, maybe the Christian per se, because I'm in a country that is full of so-called Christians, so they do pay a lot of attention to Jesus' disappearance. So thank you for reminding us about the importance of not dwelling so much on disappearance as spiritual master, but on his activities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Murari Prabhu. Yeah, it's actually very difficult to watch that tape of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. It's too difficult to watch. So, yeah. Anyone else with something to ask? We are just a few days away from Radhastami. So
Yeah.
we should all be trying to feel the blessings and the mercy of Srimati Radharani, even before her appearance.
Yeah. You want what? What are you asking?
No. I was just reminding devotees that we are a few days away from Sri Radhastami.
Day after tomorrow. So it's time to think about Sankirtana. Lord Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. All right.
Thank you so much. Maharaj, are you in the States?
No, I'm finished unless you have more questions.
Ajay, do you have something to ask or share? Good to see you, Prabhuji.
I'll answer the questions. I'm ready.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam to you all.
Yeah.
I just joined 15 minutes back. I'm a bit out of picture. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, it's the way it goes. Timing is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So, very much. Radharani ki jai.
Jai. So we bring
25 qualities of Srimati Radharani.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, Maharaj. We had a very beautiful Sadhu Sangha at the Institute House this past weekend, organized by Mother Brajalila and Kavira Prabhu, and there were lots of devotees. And
where was that? I saw it. It looked really big.
Yeah, at the Institute House. And they had a special printout of the 25 divine qualities of Srimati Radharani. And each and every devotee was asked to speak on any of those qualities, which was very beautiful. It was very, very nice. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. It's good to hear.
So we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant the loudest Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to His Holiness KAVICANDRA Swami Maharaj for making it possible to be with us today, even though he's very busy, but he's been able to be here with us. So please, we may all unmute and we chant Hare Krishna. Jai. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatarubhyascha, Sundhyavyacha, Patitanam Pavanavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
All glories to His Holiness KAVICANDRA Swami Maharaj ki jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Vaishnava devotees ki jai.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare
Krishna.
All right, devotees, we thank you all for your participation as always. And like we were saying, Radhashtami is just around the corner. And without Srimati Radharani's mercy and grace, we will be nobody. We are being somebody because of her mercy and grace. So we should all try to meditate on her mercy and how fortunate we are, like Madhavan Prabhu was saying. One day of Lord Brahma is so long. And somehow we happen to be here when Krishna appeared. Just 5,000, which is like a flash compared to Lord Brahma's time. And even better than Krishna's appearance is Lord Chaitanya, which is just 500 years ago. So we pray that we can take good advantage of this mercy and grace that we all are giving to better our lives and go back home, back to God at this particular lifetime. No more procrastination, that I will make it next life. We probably said the same thing in our previous life. Now we are here and we want to repeat the same thing.
I have a question for you, Sir Dave. You want the question?
No, don't ask me questions.
Why do you say 5,000 years ago? Every year, it's always 5,000 years ago. You know, it doesn't add the years. It should be 5,001 years ago, 5,200 years ago.
Oh, no, we just want to make it even.
Every year, it's always 5,000 years. Even Jesus Christ, always 2,000 years ago, he appeared. It doesn't add anything. Why?
Because we want to make it even.
Can you help me answer this question? Govinda Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Maharaj.
Krishna, you asking this question because you have been meditating on it long time. You made a research, so you have the answer. So you tell us.
I don't have the answer. Every time, always 2,000 years ago for Jesus, 5,000 years ago for Krishna. It doesn't add any more years.
You're right, Krishna, you're right.
But every year, we are doing our birthday. We are 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 72 years. But Jesus Christ and Krishna only 5,000 years or 2,000 years. No more age.
Well, Krishna, like Govinda Prabhu said, please add your own question for our benefit.
But you know. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Well,
Hare Krishna.
dead work is, like we said, we thank you all and we hope to see you again tomorrow and a day after tomorrow and a day after tomorrow and a day after tomorrow until we drop this body. Hare Krishna. Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Hare.